Welcome back to your home garage. Now, I just received my brake parts shipment from rockauto.com and I can't wait to change the rotors and pads on my daughter's Toyota RAV4 because they need them badly. First off, we need to access the lug nuts by removing the center caps on these American racing rims. With the breaker bar, loosen the tire lug nuts by cracking them free before you lift up the vehicle. Then my daughter and I are going to start with the front rotors before moving to the rear. Shock the back wheels. Identify your front jack point and slowly raise the front end. Secure two jack stands under the pinch welds. Now I always place a piece of cardboard on top of the stand to minimize the metal-to-metal contact. It just helps to save the coating from chipping. Then lower the vehicle slowly onto the stands. I always leave the hydraulic jack under the vehicle for added safety, but truly the car is resting on the jack stands. Loosen the lug nuts fully and remove the tire. By placing the tires under the side rails, you not only get them out of the way, but you just added another level of safety in case the jack stands or hydraulic jack were to fail. With access to the caliper, use a 14mm socket and loosen these bolts on the back of the slide pins. Now, if the slide pin starts to spin on you, use a wrench to hold them while you remove the bolts. Now grab the caliper, and you may need to rock it back and forth to remove it. Then use an S-hook to hold the caliper on the coil spring. Now it's out of the way. This also prevents the brake hose from getting damaged. Now just hold on to the pads and slide them off. With a 17mm socket, remove the two caliper bracket bolts. These are torqued on, so a breaker bar will likely be your friend in this situation and break them free. Then I'll switch to my ratchet to speed up the process. Remove the bracket for cleaning and maintenance. The rotor won't likely just pull off, but the rotors do have these two-threaded holes that you can tighten an M8 125x25 bolt into them for easy removal. Now I couldn't find my actual bolts for this, so I'm going to try my luck with a spare set. What this does is it pushes the rotor away from the back plate, which releases the strong bond from all the rust and buildup due to daily driving. Well, cheap didn't work as I just sheared the head off that bolt. This isn't really a big issue, I just want to save a trip to the hardware store. So I went to Home Depot and bought a 4-pack of M8 1.25x25 bolts. And just keep tightening them until you hear the release. Here's a quick comparison of what the new and old rotors with pads look like. This is also a great time to double check the size of the rotors. Now this isn't a sponsored video by Rock Auto, but I was able to get a full set of rotors plus pads along with shipping for about $130 less than the local supplier. With a standard screwdriver, pry off the old clips from the caliper bracket. My brake pads come with a new set, so I'm not worried about salvaging these ones. With a wire brush, remove any rusted debris that could affect the new clips. Now take the slide pins out by rotating them back and forth and just keep the rubber dust shield in the bracket for now. They might be a bit stiff, but just keep moving them back and forth until it releases. It's also really important that the pins go back in the exact same spot, so don't mix up the two slide pins. To remove the rubber dust shield, use a standard screwdriver to pry them out gently. Be careful not to tear them with the screwdriver and just make sure that dust shields remain with the same slide pin. One of the slide pins would have a rubber band on it, which helps to keep the vibrations down. You can use your screwdriver or a pick to carefully remove it. With brake clean, prep the slide pins by removing all the old grease before reapplying fresh lubrication. Make sure you also wipe down the dust shields and inspect them for any tears. If they are torn, just replace them accordingly. Reinstall the dust shields and use your standard screwdriver to make sure that they are seated properly in the caliper bracket. With brake lubrication, coat the pins and slide them back into place. Push the slide pin far enough so that the dust shield gets seated properly in the groove of the slide pin. Place the vibration band or slide bushing back into place onto the slide pin. Coat the slide pin before inserting it back into the caliper bracket. Now place brake lubrication on the 4 bracket locations that will be installing the new brake pad rattle clips. When you install the clips, be aware that they are directional, so the hairpin portion points towards the outside, or in other words, the spring side of the clip is on the outside, never the inside. Then repeat the same on the other side for the remaining 2 clips. Apply a bit more brake lubrication to the clips, which will help the pads to slide back and forth a lot easier. To install the brake pad squealers or wear indicators, just clip them on. Make sure when they're installed, they're on the same side when they grip the rotor. Just like this. And don't get any grease on the brake pads, so clean or switch gloves when handling the pads. Now we're purposely going to place this rotor on backwards just to begin with, because we have to clean it with brake clean to remove all the oils that protect the rotor before installation. And of course, make sure you clean the other side as well. While the brakes are being installed, support the rotor with one of the lug nuts, so it doesn't keep moving on you. Slide the caliper bracket over the rotor and start threading in the caliper bolts by hand. With a 17mm socket, torque it to 79 pound-feet of torque. Slide your pads into place and make sure that the wear indicators are installed at the beginning of the drive rotation, so essentially at the top of the rotor. Remove the caliper from the hanger, and I'm going to push the caliper piston with this compression tool. Just take your time because the compressed piston is pushing fluid back into the brake line to the master cylinder and then to the reservoir. So if you go slowly, you won't have any issues. The piston needs to be compressed all the way down because you need the full gap for the new rotor and pads. Slide the caliper over the brake pads and thread the caliper bolts in by hand. A 17mm wrench will hold the slide pins from turning. Then torque the bolts to 25 pound-feet of torque using a 14mm socket. Install your tire and don't forget to torque the lug nuts to 76 foot-pounds. With both front rotors completed, here's a glimpse of the rear with some differences. First off, removing the rusty rotors. Here's a side-by-side of the rear rotors with the 2 removal bolts still in place. On the rear drums, you have to install the parking brake shoe adjusting hole plug. Since my new drums didn't come with it, I'm going to reuse the one from the old rotor, and there's only one hole that it goes into, so that makes for an easy install. When you install the rear rotor, the parking brake shoe adjusting hole plug needs to line up with the adjusting wheel. Otherwise, the rest of the rear install is the same process as the front. And there you have it, brand new rotors and pads. With the rear brakes done and the car safely on the ground, pump the brakes slowly. There will be a gap between the pads and the rotor due to the installation, and this will start to eliminate that gap. Ultimately, this moves the piston into place. Also check the brake fluid level to ensure that it's at its max level, and remove or add accordingly. So make sure you help to keep this channel going by hitting that like button, sharing this video with a friend. Also, please comment below as I reply to all. Plus, don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you next time on your home garage. What's your little mechanic? You want to go for a ride now since the brakes are done? Yeah? No? You just want to eat grass? All right.